We have a Chiefs news alert at training camp today. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate you guys for watching today's Chiefs report. Mecole Hardman left today's practice on a cart with what is now being considered a groin injury. Want to run through a couple of tweets here, the timeline here. Adam Teicher of ESPN initially had the report that he did leave the practice field in a cart. Pete Sweeney also added that he went down after a play. Looks to be in a bit of pain, he said, maybe his left leg, but he was limping off the field under his own power, so it wasn't a typical carted straight off the field situation. Ian Rappaport did add a further diagnosis just a few moments ago. Says Mecole Hardman, who exited practice early today, is being evaluated for a groin injury. Source said severity is unclear, but Hardman being able to walk off the field before jumping on a cart to head into the building was a good sign. James Palmer also said initial reports aren't thought to be serious, but they're going to do some testing. So again, this is not the standard carted off situation where guy blows out his knee, can't get to the sideline, they have to take the cart to the field. He got to the sideline, went to the medical tent, talked to a couple of coaches, it sounds like, and then hopped on a cart and they took him to the locker room because there's no point for him to walk to the locker room. So that's what we know at this point in time. We'll see what the severity is, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be one of these season-ending type of injuries or anything like that, which is obviously a very, very good sign. So how concerned, based on the information we have so far, are you with Mecole Hardman's injury? Scale it from 1 to 10, 10 being incredibly concerned, 1 being not at all. I'll go 5 because we don't have enough information at this point in time, but I think groin is probably a better situation than a knee or an ankle. So I'm a little concerned. I'm not terrified by any means. Let's see what the testing shows us. And as long as there's no tear, I think, it's probably a week-to-week situation. Hopefully he's good to go before week 1. Good news is, even if it is a more severe injury than we think right now, a lot of depth at receiver. You got JuJu, who actually is dealing with the knee issue right now. But Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, who's been really good during camp and in the preseason. You've got other guys that can give you some reps, Therese Fountain, Josh Gordon, Cornell Powell. So you've got players who are able to step up in the time being. You've got depth at the wide receiver position. So I think all in all, I don't have major concerns with Mecole Hardman going down. It's not like Travis Kelce going down, right? Like Travis Kelce goes down at practice, that's a big issue. Mecole Hardman, yeah, you want him out there and you hope it's not a severe injury, and if it were to be something season-ending, yeah, that would be impactful. But if he's out for a couple of weeks or something like that, I don't think that is that huge of a deal. Subscribe to the channel because when news drops, we hit you with the video with the latest coverage around that news item. We also cover the latest Chiefs rumors. We got injury updates like we do today and more training camp coverage and preseason coverage, which will have a Chiefs versus Commanders watch party this Saturday afternoon. So join us for that. Let's try to get to 31,000 subs before that game kicks off. We're 86 away. Can we get there? We're getting you this news faster than anybody. Help support the show. It's 100% free if you subscribe. Now, Hardman's career so far has been a mixed bag, right? As a rookie, I think it was a very successful year. Was a big play machine, over 20 yards per catch, had 6 touchdowns on just 26 catches. He found the end zone a lot. Second year, yardage similar, catches went up, so the explosive plays went down, so did the touchdowns. Last year had his most productive year, but did not find the end zone nearly as often with only a pair of scores, but did have 59 catches for 693 yards. So now Mecole Hardman's entering year 4, and it's a big year for him because he's on a contract year. If he does not play at a high level this year, pretty good chance he hits free agency and signs elsewhere. But if he were to ball out and have his best year yet, maybe push for a 1,000-yard season or something like that, he could be a focal point in the Chiefs offense moving forward. So this is a big year for him. Hopefully this injury isn't too severe because, again, if it is, he falls behind, and that's not great entering free agency for him next year. Okay, this is interesting. Could the Chiefs bring back DeMarcus Robinson? now that Hardman is hurt. Now, again, it doesn't sound like Hardman's situation is going to be too severe. We'll find out more hopefully later today or in the coming days. We'll have you covered as well. But DeMarcus Robinson, familiar face, was cut by the Raiders yesterday. Didn't even get to the first round of cuts for Las Vegas. Now, the waiver wire hits today at 3 o'clock Central, so he could get claimed by another team. But if he clears waivers, he's free to sign elsewhere. To be honest, I'm not that interested in DeMarcus Robinson. But if the Hardman injury were to be serious, he's at least a guy that knows your system. You know what you're going to get out of DeMarcus Robinson. There's not going to be a learning curve because he's played in this offense for several years. I wouldn't be completely opposed. He's a good wide receiver 4 or 5 type. He's not a 2 or 3. We know that. He had multiple years to prove that he can be that. But a depth guy that knows the offense, yeah, he obviously could come in here and get back in the sync of things very, very quickly. So I'm not that interested. If Hardman's injury is, a month or two, that could change my opinion on that. But I want to see a full diagnosis first before I commit to trying to bring back DeMarcus Robinson. What do you guys think, though? Would you like to bring back D-Rob? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I want to wait and see. Right now, I'm going to type my in for no. But again, there are benefits just to the fact that he has played here before. You look at his career stats when he was in Kansas City, 145 grabs, over 1,600 yards. Did find the end zone a decent amount, 14 scores, but in 97 games, not exactly the production you're looking for. He just never really got better, right? And I think that's evident by already getting cut by the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, if he was a guy that could take a step moving forward, because the thought was, oh, well, maybe he's buried on this depth chart, just doesn't get the opportunities. Well, the Raiders already cut him, so clearly it's not like he's a big-time playmaker at this point in his career. I do think he's done enough that a team could claim him. There are teams around the NFL that could use a DeMarcus Robinson, so we'll see when the waiver wire passes today if he gets claimed. But if not, this rumor will certainly circulate. He could land back with the Chiefs. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out when it comes to DeMarcus Robinson. Some other training camp notes today. No JuJu Smith-Schuster. He's dealing with the knee issue. Chris Jones also left early. Quite frankly, I'm more concerned about that, but we don't have hardly any information on that front at this point. Clearly, the Chiefs cannot afford to lose Chris Jones, but that one doesn't seem serious based on what has been thrown out there up to this point. Obviously, if we find out about a serious injury, we will update you guys on that as well. So a couple other nuggets from today's training camp practice before the second preseason game is set to hit here on Saturday. Quite frankly, if you hate injuries like I do, just spam H. I mean, they're not fun. You never want to see these guys get hurt. It's a violent sport. We all know that. So it's part of the game, but you can still hate them as well. So spam H in the comments if you cannot stand injuries. All right, that is today's Chiefs news for you guys. If we find out more about Mecole Hardman, Chris Jones, we will be sure to update you guys. If you made it to the end of the video, you know what to do. Spam real one in the comment section and go ahead and subscribe as well for more Chiefs news and rumors.